find at the State House. This is a celebration. This is a celebration of Vermont Energy Independence Day, first day of spring. It's not so springy outside, but we're doing the best that we possibly can. And I think here on Vermont Energy Independence Day, on the first day of spring, I can let out the secret that I have finally self-appointed myself State Climate Czar of Vermont. Just so you know. And you were wondering who had the cojones to actually overcome the legislative process and find themselves above the legal system. Well, that's me. And I'm here to let you know that Vermont Energy Independence Day is being maintained as an official Vermont holiday, and it's a day where we celebrate our laudable goal of becoming a clean, green, carbon-neutral Valhalla, which, as climate czar, I have to tell you is going to have to include carbon tax, wind divestment, and no pipelines, but we're not talking about that today. We are here to celebrate, along with spring, the launch of Vermontivate 2014. Vermontivate is a community sustainability game unlike anything you've ever seen. Vermontivate is a cross between a poetry slam, a 21st century barn raising, and the Super Bowl of superheroes. It's an intertown competition that's designed to bring fun and creativity to the serious and important work of tackling climate change. Because as I know, you all know, climate change is colossally depressing. And most people feel like they can't possibly make a difference. And we are here today together to celebrate the fact that we believe that we can, and we can do it with a sense of fun, hope, and possibility. When we started working on Vermontivate 2 years ago, our goal was to get as many people across the state working to address climate change and build sustainable lives and systems and have a really good time doing it. And that's what we've been up to. We've had players ranging in age from 3 to retired. We've had light bulb changing newbies and long-time back-to-the-landers and everyone in between. And they have all told us they had no idea this work could be turned into play. They had no idea it could be so much fun. Or as one player who's very tuned into these issues said to us, Vermontivate is an antidote to despair. And so all of you are part of this, the success of where we've been and where we're going. And we built partnerships with such a wide range of organizations and businesses and foundations and state agencies who are also all working on these issues. And they're invaluable to us, these partnerships, because these folks are the experts in their fields. And that's all of you. And you've all got powerful, effective programs in place that we work to incorporate into our challenges and amplify them, so that every player who plays Vermontivate has as much possibility for real-world impact as they can. Because, of course, that is the whole point. This is not a theoretical game of chance. It's a real game of change. So I can talk about Vermontivate for hours, and often do. But instead, I want to bring up some of our partners to go Friday morning testify to the power of Vermontivate. And you guys are talking to each other here, and you're sharing a really marvelous and important story. And the first person I would love to have come tell her piece of the story is Ms. Deb Sachs from Vermont Transit.
How can I follow you? Vermontivate. I'm here on behalf of the Go Vermont team. Go Vermont is a transportation program that helps people do the right thing, and Vermontivate, we're very happy to be partners with Vermontivate. I am a contractor for the state of Vermont, and I help encourage green transportation, smart commutes. And so why are we here? Just because this is the kind of program that we're excited about, we want to be part of, and we want to encourage everybody in Vermont to have fun, to have the hope around the fastest growing sector in Vermont, which is greenhouse gases from transportation. It's growing more rapidly than population growth. And so we're delighted to be participating, and what else can I say?
That's good enough. We got a lot of people to get through an ice cream.
Okay, an ice cream, okay. Happy to be here, happy to be partnering, and with all of you.
Thanks, Deb. When the whole idea of a community sustainability game came into my little brain, one of the first people I walked up to was our next speaker, and I said to her, I have this great idea, it's going to be a game. And she said, oh no, nothing works, nothing's ever going to work. And fortunately, else. And I think the reason why she was feeling so downtrodden is she's one of the hardest working climate champions we have in the state. Please welcome Joey Miller from BNRC.
Oh no, is that what I said? Oh, I didn't mean to send that tune, but I do think this is incredibly difficult work. And I have the privilege, among one of the roles that I play is working as the coordinator of the network of over 100 community energy committees in the state of Vermont, and that is a very hopeful and solutions-oriented place. But working so closely with them, several of them representatives here in the room, I also know that this is incredibly hard work. It's a slog. And it's a meaningful slog, and we are meaningfully making change happen community by community, person by person. But we also know the crisis that we're facing in terms of our planetary peril, and we need all tools at our disposal. And Vermontivate is a powerful program that does bring hope and creativity and passion and context in terms of the comprehensive energy issues and energy solutions that we need. And so I am grateful for the dedication and passion that the Vermontivate creators have put forward with the launch of this game. And I'm privileged to be here on Vermont Energy Independence Day, collaborating with partners like you, because we need hope, we need a little bit of fun, and we need significant action fast. So thank you, Vermontivate. I will be Vermontivating soon.
Of Team Montpelier, which single-handedly trounced all the other teams in 2012. One of the other organizations that we work with is another organization which understands the power of community and networking, and that is Energy Action Network. Please welcome Wendy McCardle.
I think my biggest contribution to Vermontivate was introducing you and Nick.
Yes.
Right? Who's been instrumental in getting this thing started. So I'm Wendy McCardle. I'm with Energy Action Network as Program Director. And the network is truly very much like Vermontivate in that it's trying to get a lot of diverse stakeholders together to really help move the needle on making energy efficiency and renewables be more a part of everyday life in Vermont. We've got a comprehensive energy goal of 90% renewables by 2050, and we've got to take steps all along the way to get there. So we are trying to work with all of the different groups in Vermont from all over the state, whether it's Go Vermont and Transportation or Efficiency Vermont and Efficiency. We've got IBM and all sorts of different partners, Green Mountain Power, that cover the full range of energy issues, because it's really it's part of every aspect of our society. And if we're going to make this change, we've got to get everybody working together. So that's what our network is really all about, getting everybody working together so that we're working toward the same goal and not duplicating each other's efforts. So this diverse group of stakeholders has determined that there are really 4 leverage points to trying to get change for us to get to a renewable and efficient energy future. And there's technology, there's capital mobilization, there's regulatory reform, and then there's a 4th one, which is my personal favorite, public engagement. And that's all about communicating with Vermonters, Vermont businesses, Vermont residents, and that's where Vermontivate is doing such a great job, because their approach is unique. They're not stuffed shirts, clearly, in a room, right? They're not a bunch of suits sitting around. They're having fun. They're engaging real Vermonters and doing something really fun in a different way. And so that's a different entry point for people to get involved in this whole energy transformation. So EAN's really proud to have Vermontivate as a member of our organization, and we really applaud and support your efforts to spread the word and have fun while you're doing it. I love the community building aspect of this game. So Vermont, eventually will be this one big community. We'll be on our way to 90 by 2050. So thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. Actually, the original idea was what if we could have an all Vermont conference, like get everybody, like a conference of all Vermont beings, but there's no venue in Vermont big enough to hold everybody. So that's why we have to play a game. I want to, you know, this event wouldn't have happened without a number of our fine and important legislators, our community leaders on the political scale. And one of our diehard players for both years is Representative Mike and Tasha from Charlotte, and I wanted to bring you up and just have you say a couple of words about your participation and your ability to balance out the serious left-brain work of the legislature and the right-brain work of Vermontivate.
Is that how it works? First, I want to say that as a member of the House Natural Resources and Energy Committee, I am very happy that we have such an energy-conscious and energetic constituent in my district as Kathy. So Vermontivate isn't only about having fun playing games online, but it's also about raising our own awareness of the little things that we do in our daily lives for sustainability. Things like composting, things like hanging the clothes out to dry instead of using the dryer. We'll have to wait a couple of months for that, I think. You know, and other things, minimizing the amount of driving we do when we go out on errands and things like that. When I first started to play Vermontivate, it was very confusing to me. I looked at it, I just didn't know what I was supposed to do there. But once I got into it, yeah, I found a lot of things that I could get credit for online. So I continued to play, and I was very happy to contribute in my small way to the effort that Charlotte had in becoming the top player, I guess, of the top community.
And do you want to just quickly tell the story
yes,
of your friend?
I'll introduce my friend, Vermontivacious Bear. A member, or rather a resident of South Burlington, I forget. Karen, yes, Karen McKinney? Yeah. Okay, so she had this idea of having a mascot for Vermontivate. And Vermontivacious Bear is a traveling bear, and I was privileged to be able to take him on a trip, a 4-state trip from Vermont to Connecticut to Ohio to Pennsylvania and then back to Vermont. As I traveled around visiting my kids and grandkids and looking at the various energy-related programs that we found all over the Northeast. And from solar panels to geothermal heating systems to electric cars, he actually got a chance to play with a Tesla. And we got pictures, and we had a great time traveling. So, you know, it's a great game, and I think everybody should try. And I got to say that Rebecca Foster here, I think, did a lot more with getting Charlotte to be in first place than I did, but I contributed a little bit. So.
One of our other hardworking legislators, someone who also understands both sides of the tracks, literally hands in the dirt work, as well as the head in the policy work, Mr. Dave Zuckerman.
Thank you, Kathryn. I'm just going to speak briefly to the idea and concept of Vermontivate in that people learn that they can do simple steps and then they can continue doing them. I mean, to me, what's so exciting about this is that it opens a door that folks don't tend to then go back the other way and shut and not continue down making those changes. And so I just want to speak briefly to that once you start thinking about the ways you can save energy and reduce your energy consumption, it starts to become sort of an affliction, a good affliction, but one where you're like, oh, I don't need to do this, or oh gosh, I can turn that light off, you know, when I'm leaving the room, or I can drive a little slower, although no, I'm not very good at that one. But that you just constantly are looking for things, and it's accessible, because for anybody, it can start at a relatively smaller, simpler task. It's not like everybody has to go out and all of a sudden disconnect from the grid and light their house with candles and so forth. It's the scale that you want it to be and the scale that you can achieve in that moment. And I think that's one of the brilliant things about this competition. So I just want to say thank you for that great idea that makes it accessible to anyone. And I just wanted to throw a little brief policy thing that I think is probably exciting to folks in this room, which is that just a couple days ago, there was a bill in the Senate to try to start setting some restrictions on where solar panels could be placed. And thankfully, that turned out to be not even a close vote, as many of us had suspected it would be, but it was defeated 21 to 8, I believe, which was very solid. And that was very good that the state policymakers are also listening to the growing groundswell of all the sentient beings in Vermont that we can't get in one room to say we need to be making these changes. So thank you for that.
Someone actually gave me a tiny mobile solar panel, wasn't up to this hat, but I didn't have anything that would spin to make it worthwhile. Vermontivate also wouldn't have happened if we hadn't started out early saying we need a grand prize for this competition, and it's got to be a prize worth fighting for. And what we got, without any hesitation, was an ice cream party from Ben & Jerry's. And I have to tell you, saving the world is one thing, but free ice cream is a whole other bargaining chip. It works better than anything else. And so here's Chris Miller from Ben & Jerry's as one of the people without whom this project would definitely not have happened.
Thanks, Kathryn. Ben & Jerry's, we're really happy to be here again, and I want to thank you and Nick for all your hard work for making this game happen. We had a great time in Charlotte at the end of the last game, and looking forward to see where in the state we'll go this year. You know, both at Ben & Jerry's and in my previous work, I've spent a lot of time working on the issue of climate change. The truth is, you know, changing light bulbs and, you know, installing insulation is not particularly sexy or exciting. I think what makes Vermontivate so important and so awesome is that it sort of combines sort of three things. It combines technology, which I think is important for getting young people engaged. It has people thinking innovatively about the kinds of changes they can make in their life. And then finally, I quote our co-founder, Jerry Greenfield, who said, "If it's not fun, why do it?" You know, it turns this sort of dorky, wonky thing into something fun. And so I think that's the magic of the game. It's been recognized nationally, and we're really proud to be a part of it. So thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chris. One last speaker before we get rolling. I know we're getting short on time. So, like I said, Montpelier won the first year in an 11th hour victory over Brattleboro. And then last year, there was a three-way smackdown happening between Charlotte, Calais, and South Burlington. And we didn't know who was going to win. Watching the last evening's few hours of play was like watching election night returns. Nail biting. I couldn't take it. I went to bed around 9. I said, I'll find out in the morning. But thanks to the heroic efforts of Team Charlotte and the Jean-Luc Picard-style captaincy of the team by Rebecca Foster, they won this Scoop Cup. This is the cup, much like the Stanley Cup, that goes to the winning town, and it even has a removable bowl for people to put their ice cream in. And so I just wanted to bring Rebecca up for a moment to talk about what she perceives as the value of this project from the inside. Rebecca!
It's all about the ice cream. I know Kathy, so last year I thought I'll just check out Vermontivate and see what she's up to, and I'll keep an observer's hand in the game. You know, as a supportive friend. But I realized, however, that my 12-year-old daughter might enjoy some of the challenges, and as she did them, I realized my 8-year-old son could do some of them. And many of the challenges can be played at different levels, depending on your understanding of the world. And the point is to get you thinking from wherever you are. And I really appreciated seeing that in my kids. So then I was playing as a friend and as a mom. After a while, I caught on to the kind of complex point system in the game, and I realized that without even trying, Charlotte was in the lead. Give her a whiff of victory. And never more quickly as an addict, maybe. To seriously win, though, we'd have to build our team. So we recruited neighbors, friends, kids' friends, my parents who are in their 80s. I posted on Front Porch Forum. We tried to get the cat to play. I leveraged my position on the Town Energy Committee to apply for one of the mini grants we to Vermontivate players. I organized a local board potluck advertised to the whole town. So now I was playing as a friend, a mom, and a community member. Some of the hardest players were my daughter and her friends, and they created a school team, and they went on to easily trounce the school competition. The 6-foot Victory teddy bear is a well-loved fixture now in the Charlotte Central School Library. This year, my daughter changed schools, and she's taking Vermontivate with her. In fact, she told me last night that the science teacher is going to incorporate Vermontivate into the system science curriculum for the 7th grade this spring, which I thought was really cool. So by the final evening of the game last year, as Kathy was saying, when we were neck and neck with the other teams, I was definitely not playing as a friend, or a mom, or a community member. I was playing for myself. We had a house full of teammates gathered around one table, but only 2 computers and 2 really clumsy iPads. We pounded out challenges right up until midnight when the website went down and the points were too close to call. The ice cream party was great, especially meeting the players from the other towns that you only knew through the computer. But the best part of the game for me was really that I was able to see another side of my kids, and that they saw another side of me. All right.
I suspect Charlotte will be fighting fiercely to maintain temporary custody of the Scoop Cup. All right, we're almost done here, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next. We're going to have one more person come up to officially ring the launch cowbell. And then we have some cupcakes and ice cream from Chris and Ben & Jerry's, but we can't eat it in here, so I'll invite you all into the cafeteria to partake of the nummies. And Barbara Hiredall, who's one of our great supporters, the cupcakes, frosting and all, are gluten-free, just so you know. This is not all me, obviously. It's partners, it's funders, it's allies, and it's my business partner in crime and creation, Mr. Nick Lang. And Nick, I think you should be the guy to come up and ring the cowbell. Because without Nick and his brilliance and understanding of most things that I don't understand, this never really would have happened. It would have been just a fun idea and a lot of flailing about. So, Nick, if you'd be so kind as to ring the official Vermontivate cowbell, the